Okay, how about first one? Yeah. Look, let's put a little more power in the punches now that we're blue belts and up. And Woody can catch up to the blue belts, right? Just sequentially anyways. All right, ready? First one. Good squats, good stances, plenty of power in the twist. Remember the twist, boom. The twist is not just this, it's the torso. And relax a bit when you let it go. And don't lock the elbow. All right, ready? Up, go. Ready? Up. Bend your knees. Reverse. Oh, chun kyo, scoop, uppercut, remove, and punch. Okay, down, uppercut, pause, remove, and punch. We don't have to rush. Get the feeling of getting power into the motion. Okay, going Calvin, not so rubbery, not so rubbery. Okay. Boom, remove, punch, change directions. One, bang, boom, boom, boom. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. So Aiden, show us the chun kyo punch. So how should it be? Sliding 7, boom, right? Good. So you got to finish the punch and aim it toward directly to here, right? Between here and there. When both hands are there, it's a triangle. And you're turning from here, you go through this point and it finishes there. So that's what you should do, Cal, right? So let's go second form and put that triangle to work. We know what the triangle is? You know what the triangle is? The triangle is your center line. And then your base is your legs, and your torso forms the other parts of it. So, in fact, your whole body's made up a lot of triangles. Can you name 6 of them? 6 triangles in the body. And when you get in, let's get Carlos in a position. All right, let's throw a punch from a side view so we can see all the triangles. No, get into a horse stance and a lean horse stance, and he punches. So there's a triangle, right? So there's a A, B, and C, right? That's a triangle. You got a 1, 2, and 3. That's a triangle, right? You have 1, 2, and 3. That's a triangle. Then come forward a little bit in your knee if you can, right? So your whole body is made of triangles. This is a triangle, right? So, between here, the shoulders and the tail, the heel, you have it here, and then you have this alignment, right? The nose, the fist, and the knee or the foot is a triangle. It's the only shape we can actually do because that's how our joints work. We have a joint, you fold it, you form a triangle, right? You soften it a little bit, you turn it like this, it forms a curve. So it's triangle, circles, and squares. That's the geometry. What you have to do is manipulate that triangle or the geometry of those positions and make them effective. So a circle like this, okay, if Carlos forms a circle like this and holds both hands like this, yeah. So this is one of the strongest positions that you can hold because it's interlocked. So no matter how strong his big shoulders are and all the rest of the muscles, right? It's strong like this. Look at that. But it's weak like this. So a hoop is actually strong in the periphery. So like when they make barrows and they put a ring around it, it keeps the force like this. But once you do this or this, it breaks the ring. So that's what structural integrity is. There's strength in one direction but weakness in another. So if he's in a square, double fist, there's your square. It's strong like this or weak like this, right? Because of the position. He's in a triangle, it's strong right here. This side, it's weaker, and this side is weaker. But it's also good because it's slanted. It's on a defensive side, it deflects. So that's how the triangle works. You know, the apex of triangle. So he's in a triangular position. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. 3 triangles. See? So that forms, you know, like it's not a pyramid, but it forms a wedge. So that wedge is effective for, you know, using it as a tool. So, you know, like when they split wood and they get this triangular thing and it's got a point on it, and then you hit the top of it with a hammer, it drives it into the wood, and the wood goes, splits open, because as the force goes down, which is right there, it spreads. That spreading force is what breaks the wood open. So the spreading force when he punches is what deflects. So when it intercepts here, it's small. The further goes, it gets bigger, right? So you don't have to deflect with a lot of strength. So all we have to do is this. And then we turn a little bit, and that takes the force over there, and that leaves him open for that. See this? So that's kind of how we work our arms and legs. That just gives you an idea of how important the geometry of position is. And that happens in our stances, our bridges, our punches, our chops, our diagonal strikes, our thrusts. All of that is using those lines. So, okay, let's go to the second form and create those triangles. So you can find them as you imagine them to be. All right, ready? Oh, you want to go? Okay. You wanna count or lead? Yeah. If you count, it's paced better. So maybe count. Very good. So one of the things that we probably don't pay attention or wonder why we need to bend our knees. So Calvin, why do you think we bend our knees when we start off a form or do the salute? Why would we bend our knees? Anybody know? This is kind of a trick question, but then it kind of will make sense after you understand the logic behind it. Okay, you got it? Jasmine says she knows why we bend our knees. Okay, so that's one reason to bend the knees, to lower your center of gravity and then shift your weight. But another reason. Uh-huh. Okay, so that kind of makes some sense, right? So the other thing is that we use Minor, or maybe Aiden, right? When you stand like this, right? So he's standing like this. So the foot's the base. So he's tall and he's standing his base, so it's very easy for him to fall this way. And his feet are close together, it's easier for him to fall this way, right? So to compensate for the instability of the foot position, when you bend your knees, you create a zigzag. That zigzag creates a wider base, right? Now this is still not strong, so you go to shoulder width. So to make that even stronger, you'd have to go to a horse stance. Now you're stable this way, but still weak like this. So there's not much you can do about the front and back weakness. So for a front and back weakness, you have to change your direction to this, right? But it's still weak like this. So that's why we have to turn and change our direction. So you always have to change your foot positions to optimize your balance position and how you're going to throw a technique. So if you're in a horse stance here, this is strong like this, so this is the direction I'm going to punch in. And this is the direction I punch in. Even though we do this in this frontal position, it's more to build the foundational motion of this. But you can compensate a little bit by the forward and backward action, because when we do this, that's really not a good position because it's a small base side to side. So to compensate for that, we sometimes lean like this. So the body like this, you tip over. The body like this creates more stability and gives you the little bit of time you need to be able to make your punch effective. Because after you punch and you stay there, you just get pushed over. See? So, it's like a motorcycle, right? You stand on two wheels. It has great balance moving forward, but not so great in a standstill, not in motion, because of the lack of stability. So when you're in motion, you have direction and strength. But once you stop, then it becomes stagnant, not as strong. So throughout your practice, you're constantly trying to go into your strength positions, avoiding the weak positions. So, there's a lot of strategy to that. And that's what we're learning. That's body intelligence. So, all right, let's get to, and don't forget, when you go into this suspended horse like this, that's a triangle, this is a triangle. So when you bend your knees, right, Calvin, when we bend, this is not so stable. This gives you some stability here. This gives you some stability there, right? So that's like a two-dimensional or two-direction stability. And that's actually a weaker stance because you're on one leg. But one-leggedness allows for what? When you're in a one-legged position. This is what Jasmine was talking about. When you're in a one-legged position, it allows you to make a transition in your feet. Because you have to be on one leg at a time in order to take a step. You can't walk when you're 50-50 because neither foot wants to move. So that's, these are things that we don't typically think about, but if you think about it, it starts to make sense. All right, let's go through, which form? Third, okay. So third form has a lot of fluid footwork, agility, shifting of weight, and all the stuff included. So, you want to, Kim, you want to do it? You can stand there, yeah. Oh, you want to lead? You can lead that side. So here we are, we sink. We lift, and the weight is here. Now we push. 1, 2, hop. 1, 2, lunge. Step through, punch. Grab. Stay down low and lift. Drop. Elbow. Back fist. Turn and poke. Pull. Now when we pull, I saw Calvin just pull. So we have to understand how do we pull. Max, how do we pull? So what we want to pull is toward our body, right? Which is the strength, which is the direction our body is going. The direction our body is going in this line. So if I'm standing in this line where the seam is, I should be heading directly along this line. That's your strength position. If I go like this, I veered off my position because there's nothing there. So the first thing you do is have to drop your elbow and then turn your spine. That's your position. So how that works is, if Max, face me this way, Max. I'm going to borrow his arm. If I'm in this position and I'm going to pull, okay, you resist a little bit, right? No, resist. When I pull, you resist. If I pull like this, I really don't have much strength. If I pull like this, he could feel the direction of force much more intense. Because when I go like this and I drop my elbows and turn my waist, I went from this to this stance. Didn't we just go over the stance that it's strong in this direction? Right? I wouldn't do this. I would end up falling down because this is weak. This is strong. Right? So if I go like this, I want to first come toward my body and then move right beyond it, right through the body. Right, so you see how that is? So if you grab someone's arm, you have the opportunity to kind of pull them down. But the other thing is, when your hand is up, extend it out, right? So if I pull her in the same direction and she resists, it's even. But if I go like this, it changes. Why? Because pulling like this is horizontal in the direction of her force. But if I go like this, that took it down, and then it changed the line of force in a direction. So you always want to pull down to break the strength and then turn. So you have two actions. It's a two-dimensional motion, right? So one becomes sinking, this becomes turning, and the pulling becomes the leg. So you have body weight, momentum, and force being generated like that. Now the other way to pull is just forcing it, right? And it's all arm. So, while you practice this type of technique, you have to understand that we try to use our body form so that it's effective by using gravity, alignment of body, direction of movement, so that it maximizes the potential of the technique without using what we call the brute force, or the sort of the wrong strength. So we're here. One, we pull, then we lift, then we ginger knuckle, hook, sit back, and sink. Hop. 1, 2, lunge. Now, you may not have picked up on this in the beginning. When you hop, 1, 2, you kind of pull in a little bit, as you gather the strength, and then you let it out. So that's how you create the pullback without pulling back. So then you become efficient. Then you catch. Then we go down to go up. We hop, and here again we kind of pull in to go out. And from here, we're going to turn our shoulders and drive it down. And we're in a leaning stance here. Grab. So here, elbows down. We're going to pull toward ourselves and turn. Now this hand goes out. This hand follows. So you notice when I go like this, it's in my center. It's not over here, it's in my center. When this comes out, the hands shift. So you see what happens? The hand goes here. 1, it's in my center line, right? The side center line. 2. So this hand went from here to here because my body turned. 1, 2. If you do it like that, then if I have his arm and I'm here. This is my center line. And I go like this, I turn, and I can capture his elbow because I turned. I don't go reaching for his elbow and try to grab it. I maneuver, right? So every time you maneuver, you're using your body structure, your form, to create the technique. So we don't really reach for anything. We just turn into it, and you're already there. You know, it's like, so that's the strategy of better technique. But this is, you know, really understanding the function of the motion. So when we're here, 1, 2, hook, turn, elbow, step up, drop your hand, elbow. Now here, sink, high. Let's do that sink again, right? So we're here. 1, 2, sink. Now we're going to turn. So this is lifting your torso. We're going to drop this elbow and turn this foot. Strike. Hook. Now we pull this foot back, drop down from the torso so you can lift. Step to here and slice. 1, 2. So all of those are directional movements. You create that action from the body. So from there, let's do the 3 swipe. Unless you want to review that again. Do we need to review that again? You want to try that again? Because this is relearning some of the details in the forms you already learned as a sequence. So we're here, right? 1, there's in the middle, this is here, turn. Make it as a unit, hook, step, go to leaning as your elbow. Adjust the feet, go to suspended horse, drop this hand, lift, step out, set it up so you're going to go high. Turn, chop, hook, this is in your center, spin, we went low, lift, step like this. Now because we're out like that, allows us to turn and separate the hands. 1, 2. So you see, that's setting up everything for the next motion, and so that's preparing your movements. And that's important because the better your setup, the better your execution will be. So when we're here, we turn like this, and then we're going to turn the foot out as we shift the weight back, and then flip the hands over and hook and sweep. We're going to sit back, fold the elbow, the other hand comes out, we flip the hands and we hook and sweep. We drop the forward hand. Now we're facing this corner. We switch feet and turn back to center. But don't pull your hand down. That becomes a habit. It's a habit, but it's also very physical. So if I do this, that's what it looks like. So you should do this. 1, 2. So you don't want to pull someone's technique into your body. You want to sink, be directive force. So if you pull it into your body, you actually jam up your own position. You want to sink into the position and lay on top of the bridge. So if I take your hand and I go like this, I don't want to pull it in. I actually allow her to punch like again, because you can just punch me again. But I want to take it so that if you want to punch, it's going over there. So that's, you don't want to pull something into you. Now, when I do this, like a dragon claw, I'm not pulling into me, I'm pulling beside me. You see, there's a difference. The direction is the same, front to back, but it's not front to center. You see what I mean? So you don't want to go like this and then pull towards you. You can pull, but you have to turn. So you don't want to do that or this. So this, 1, sink, kick, switch. So switch and turn. Now from here it goes down, lift, drop, lift, drop, lift, drop, lift, elbow, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so the dropping is energy, a force direction, and a movement that goes down, and you lift, and you go down, and you lift. So that dropping technique actually happens more effectively with the more advanced students or sifus, because the free fall movement is the ability to get rid of the conflicting strength. The free fall means let go. Then you can free fall. The force is intense. It's downward in the right direction. A newer person is going to put strength in the movement, and then there's resistance. But you know, you drop a ball and it free falls, it goes very fast. You drop a ball and you put a string on it, and it doesn't go down because it's got a spring attached to it. It's not going to go. It's going to want to get hung up. So if you go down and you have some tension in the movement's going to get hung up. It can't get to its destination as fast. So she throws a punch. I didn't press, but I should go fast like that, right? Because this would be very forceful, and I don't want to hit her on the top of the arm. So I just want to show you, when she punches, it goes down. Oh, she missed, but that was her fault. That's why we step over here. And then you go here. But that's what happens, right? So you're not there, you don't have to block it. But if you're going to be there, make sure you sink. That's the force in the direction. So that impact of that bone against her arm, I just show you slowly. Yeah. It's going to be much more forceful, right? You can feel it go to the bone. So anyways, that's the idea. So we're here, boom, 1, we up, 2, up, 3, up, 1, 1, 2, 3, uppercut, sweep 1, sweep 2, sweep 3, turn, sweep, sweep, sweep and chop, left hook, leaning stance, right, left side, mark out wrong stance, look at Aiden, back fist, pull back, hop, 1, 2, 3, lunge, step through punch, and turn, and close, and salute, close. Yeah, that's a salutation. So you know, when you're here and you go like that, that's a knee strike. You know, if I have Carlos and we're like this, I can knee strike. So you have that stability. But it's also a stomp. So you might, you know, if I'm in a position, Minor throws a round kick, that's a defensive motion too, right? Because when he kicks, it goes in. This actually goes in there, right here. That would be kind of painful. That's kind of sensitive inside here. You know, someone grabs you in a headlock, in wrestling with your friends, you know what really hurts? If you pinch right in the thigh right there, that really hurts. And it doesn't have to be a whole lot of meat, it just has to be a little bit of, but, you know, want to try? Anyways, so that's third form. There's a lot of things in the third form, but we have to practice them and get something out of it, enjoy it. So let's do it one more time. All right, third form, then we'll move to fourth form. And as you progress through the forms, there's less detail because it's more about getting the form down in your body. Then you can work on the details. So it gives you time in each belt level to reinforce what you've learned. So, after you get the yellow belt, you have your, a lot more material to have to think about. In the red belt level, it's just sequence. In the blue belt level, it's, fixing what you learned in the red belt sequential level. Then you get the yellow belt level, you have to fix all of that stuff, and then hopefully, you can move into the brown level, fixing it while you're going through the yellow level. So anyways, let's go through this one more time. Okay, ready? We just stay together, follow the instructors of sifus in the sides. Ready, go. Oop. No count, just stay together. Good. Deep breathing. Inhale. So, back in the school in Cambridge, when we had a school there, my teacher didn't line up the new people in the front. He lined up the advanced people in the front, and then the less advanced would be behind. So he had a method to that idea, that strategy, because the people in back always look to the front. So if all the good people are in back, how do the new people see anything? We didn't have mirrors then, so you relying on seeing each other, and everybody's a new belt at a red belt level. So that was not a good way to do it. We put the advanced people in front, so you have someone to follow and watch. So let's do the fourth form this time. Put all the yellow belts in the front, because you become the models and the samples, and then the people behind have something to follow, and the correctness of the movement become visual. So the better you and we used to have different people try doing the warm-ups, because when you have to lead the warm-ups, it becomes something that becomes important as far as whether you know them or not. So sometimes even advanced people never do the warm-ups as a leader. Then they say, well, gee, I don't remember them. But it just comes from doing it a lot. But anyways, we still have instructors do the warm-ups, because we want a good sample. We don't want a red belt going up there doing the drills wrong, because they're not sure. So we have someone more advanced doing it. So, everything that you learn in the beginning is all visual. You have to take in that information and then copy what you see. All right, ready? Fourth form, and you want to count it through. And counting keeps you all together. All right. No, they're doing it too. Everybody does it, but look at their legs, look at their hands. So if you're watching from behind, copy the people in front. At the back. Now, so Zane, when you step out, right, we talk about angles. When the feet are like this, that's 45 degrees. So 45 degrees, we're standing like this 45 degrees. Now that 45 degrees doesn't matter where you're going, it's like that. There used to be a guy, a comedian, and he used to walk like this. Charlie Chaplin. So the thing is, this 45 degree position here, when we step out, is the same 45. So we don't have a position actually when we step out like that. The only time we turn is a pivot, but we don't step like that. So there are differences, and that's what you have to distinguish, the type of footwork you're doing and how you take that first step. So hopefully that's clear. Okay, ready? Continue, go. So Woody, want to try it in the back? You try in the back. Just, it's nice and slow. You got a stomach ache? Whoops. Come on, Woody, put a little something in there. You can do it. Wow. Good stances. Parallel feet, 45 degrees. Oh. Square feet, parallel. So Cal, how'd you get so fast? Hey John. Okay, good. Deep breathing. So when we do all our techniques, we have, a lot of terms that we use. So we use a reference point, right? Target, center line, or area that's high, middle, or low. So that's what we have to. We reference our own body. And then the other thing we have, and I use these different analogies as to what. Like a fundamental is sort of your ABCs of the movements. So what do you do with your ABCs? You put them together and you create words, right? When we put our fundamentals together, we create forms or we create sequences. And we have to define those sequences, just like when you put a word together, you have to create a word that has some kind of meaning, which is, defined. So when we do our movements, you have to be able to see them with a certain amount of clarity. It has some definition to it. And then people that see it can recognize it. And if it is a consistency in the way you do it, then you can recognize it. It's recognizable. You can see it in any form that you do. And one thing that we have in a lot of forms is this, right? A chun kyo. One thing we have is a back fist, right? So a back fist has to be defined as a back fist, not one of these, because that really doesn't tell me what it really is. This is a back fist, and a back fist is striking with the back of the hand. But this back fist is high. This back fist is low to the waist. So how do you make this back fist that's going to the waist lower? Is you cross your step and you go this way, right? So that's in the 5 stances. That's your corner back fist low. And your corner back fist high is there. Your shoulder level back fist is here. So we have to define the space, and then we have to define the technique. So the better you define it, the more skillful it looks, and refining it means consistency. Do it like that all the time, over and over again. And that's really how we gauge students. Now, a lot of the instructors here have judged forms and tournaments and so forth. And that's what's being judged when you're being judged in competition, is how that looks and if the person doing it knows what they're doing. That's the only thing you can judge, because not every form is known by the judges, because judges typically do one style, but a back fist is a back fist, a flat punch is a flat punch, so they can tell if it's good or bad. You've been in tournaments, right? You've got judged, and you won gold medals, and the thing is, you compete against other kids, other competitors. So what's the difference that you see that you're doing that they're not doing? And that kind of gives you an idea that the way you practice makes that difference, and what you take in here makes that difference. Right? Iris's practice, the same thing, right? You see other competitors, you rate yourself against another competitor based on how they look and how they execute. So while we're not competing here, we still want to learn, take in the right information. So if you practice, you want to practice a specific way. You don't want to just kind of throw your arms all over the place. You want to practice a certain way and get it as correct as possible. So, you play a lot of video games, there's end goals. You either win or you lose, right? But how do you win or lose? It depends on your technique. How fast can your fingers move? How quick can your eyes go? So it's so that's a little different. You don't move your whole body unless you're doing this when you do. Then that's really not controlled. It's just kind of random. This really requires a lot of control. So let's go to what form you want to do, Max? Fifth? Okay, I guess by order, right? Okay, fifth form. Just do the best you can. Have you started fifth form? You've done a little? They just start a little bit. Just a little. Just the opening. When you know the opening from 5 stanzas though, right? So, okay, so let's want to shift over here. If you're learning fifth form, Miney can work with you on the rest of the opening, because the fifth form opening is like it never ends. It's a long opening, and we'll get the yellow belts over here. And because we're doing it by rank, let's get Iris and Carlos up here, and then you guys can follow. Now we have, so there's no pressure, right? Iris can come here to fifth form Gung Kuen. And what do you want to review? Fourth form? Well, review whatever you want to review. You did third form, right? Did you finish? You did. You got your stripe. So you want to do some third form with Kim? You want to do fifth form, but you can't do fifth form without knowing. You can do some fifth form, but first you don't know anything of fourth form. So that's why Kim's here, right? Okay, she could. 4, yeah. Okay, all right. Follow slowly. All right, work your stances. Get your bridge work working right. Bridge work. We know what those are, right? Those are the things that are over the troubled waters, right? Bridge over troubled waters. Only old people know those songs. Okay. Yeah. Okay, ready? Go. Hey, Rob, what's up? You just got here. Yeah. What? Wait, I'll show you something. Oh, you got a monkey stick? That's a real monkey stick. It's a stainless steel. Oh, it's aluminum? Whoa, it's heavy. She. Oops. So this I did.
Oh, nice.
You see?
So you just untape it, slap it together, and boom.
No, it cuts off. We're going to screw that onto your unit. Mount it, put it in there. So you're going to see it like that. Then when we come to the hole, we're going to try to line it up, and then it should go. It's because that's screwed down, and we're just going to go in, and it should just go on. And it just no, it actually it just slides right in, and then once it slides in there, You can't unless you can get it from the inside with a piece of tape. But I don't think it needs it. No.
It's pretty tight.
Yeah, because any openings I sealed.
I mean, we could even replace this with that other tape too if you wanted.
No, you can wrap the whole thing with this aluminum tape. Oh. And